Welcome, everybody. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is Cyber Warrior Studios, and I know you're all here for another amazing episode of what? Security Happy Hour. That's right. We got another amazing episode here for you today. And with me this evening, I have the better half of a previous guest and a newcomer to cybersecurity and IT. So it's going to be an amazing episode. I see a lot of conversations going on. So we might make fun of her husband a little bit. We might make fun of some other people, but you know, it's all in good fun. I love you all. Please stick around for about 10 seconds and we'll be right back. And we're back. So with me this evening, I have the one, the only, the amazing Sarah Rojas. Sarah, how you doing this evening?
I'm good, Derek. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Good.
It's Friday.
Yay.
It's a weekend. I got
Amen.
a lot of things going on this weekend, so I'm happy to just relax for a little bit. Well, I don't know if you would consider this relaxing, but it's relaxing to me.
You got a beer in your hand?
And have a conversation.
Yeah.
So this spawned because I had Jason on a while ago, and you, as the consummate supporter, were in chat and talking and this, that, the third. But you've been very supportive of everything I put out. And then yesterday, I think it was, I saw the fun little comment that you were actually going for your A+.
I am.
So, who influenced who?
Okay. So what had happened was...
What happened was, no shit, there I was.
You actually influenced me. I was super on board watching Jason's show, and I've always been interested, you know, like I've always been like, oh, hey, well, what's this? Or what's that? Eventually went in and said, hey, give me a tour of the data center and show me what you're doing. And he's like, are you sure this is command lines? It gives you anxiety. Because it does. I fucking hate command lines. And which is why he's like, are you sure you want to go into IT? You don't like command lines. But I've also figured out why I don't like them. So I just started, kept watching, you know, paying attention, asking questions. And then one day, I don't know, it's recent, I had this sense of urgency. And I don't know if it's because I'm nearing 40 and that urgency.
Nice.
I'm going to be 39 this year.
Jason's like 50. There's no way you're nearing 40.
He's 49. He's going to be 49 this year.
Wow, I was just being an asshole. He really is getting there. Damn, Jason.
Yeah, we're 9 years apart. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's the fact that I'm coming up on 40 or what, but I have that sense of urgency. I'm not happy in my career. I'm not where I feel I deserve to be. I've recently taken a pay cut, and it's a big one, and well, to me anyway. And I'm like, well, I want more from life. I want to be stimulated. I'm not being stimulated enough.
Right.
And I'm finding as I'm getting older, my wants, my desires, it's changing.
Yeah.
And here I am, like, okay, shit, I'm going into IT. Let's do it. And so Jason told me where to start. He said, go for your A+. That's very foundational. He asked what I wanted. I was saying, you know, I'm thinking cybersecurity. I've been watching Derek. I was looking at Oracle for a little while. He's like, well, what do you like? I like to investigate. I like intelligence. I'm a good detective. I'm an amazing detective.
Well, that's because you're a woman, and women can literally, you give them somebody's first name and they'll know exactly who you're talking about and find all their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. They got all the details in like less than an hour.
5 minutes, literally. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Every address, phone number, social security number, less than an hour, for sure. And so, you know, and I've always been like, I have a paralegal background, and I was really good at investigations. And so that's kind of what I decided. And I was looking at Oracle. I've looked at everything. And so
are you thinking more kind of the digital forensics route, or like incident response type of deal? Like, really, what are you thinking would play best into that? Because I got a few ideas. I got another friend that's the same way. She loves investigations. Amanda Holton, she's been on this show before. And so, you know, when I hear that, what triggers is my mind and like social engineering, OSINT, digital forensics, incident response, that type of thing that requires you to use that side of your brain of like
Yeah.
an analytic type of mindset.
And I'm not usually analytic. I'm really not. I did a little bit of like analytical type of work recovering from, nobody knows that, not a lot of people know this about me, but I am a 5-time brain surgery survivor. And so I did some analytical type recovery therapy. And so now this is triggering that side of my brain to start working again. And so I'm really thinking pen testing.
I like it. It's especially because there is an investigative portion to that a lot of people don't realize, right? Everybody thinks
Yeah.
it's just, oh, let me run these port scans, or let me just look at this website or this sequel or whatever the case may be. But there is an investigative side to it because you have to figure out what services are running. You have to figure out, are they vulnerable? You have to figure out, are there any open ports that, maybe don't say the right service? You have to go into websites. So there's so many different avenues of pen testing, whether it's application security, web apps, network, things like that. So I could see that being very fulfilling for a lot of people, especially as you're just breaking in, because everybody says it's the sexy career in cybersecurity, when it's really not. It's a lot of fucking paperwork, but
and it's rabbit holes. And I love rabbit holes. I love a good rabbit hole.
But can you dig yourself out of the rabbit hole is the question. It's like, oh wait, I'm too deep. Hold on, let's go back a few levels.
Let me tell you, at the inception of the pandemic, I didn't sleep for like 3 weeks because I was rabbit hole. So yeah, I love them.
It's funny too, because especially these days with social media and things like that, you can find so many to go down, and like you'll end up thinking that aliens are already here, and like, there's so much crazy stuff. Like when your mind goes into rabbit hole mode.
Wait, we're actually living in a biodome?
Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, like the way people talk, it really gets you. They'll make you believe it. Like you will know in your heart it is wrong, but you've gone so deep into the rabbit hole. You're like, nah, that's gotta be. He's making sense. He really is. Like, no, he's not. No.
You're like, am I losing my mind now? Yeah.
But no, that's awesome, and I love that you two are doing it together because, I have always been, and Jason knows this. You know this. A lot of the people that watch. I'm a very big proponent of your support systems. I've got my wife and my kids who I do everything for, and they've been very big supporters, especially once I got out of the Army, because they hated their time in the Army, especially my kids, mainly because I was moving all the time. But, being stationary and having a career and, being able to learn and grow. And, at times it's that support system that drives you. And having that with you two both doing it, now you can feed off of each other.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because Jason and I have an amazing relationship. And we have so much to bond over. But now I'm finding that I'm not only finding his brain sexy, but we're connecting on a much deeper level than we've ever connected before because we've got something so deep in common now that we're so interested in. And I think that it has just brought us that much closer and that much more connected. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of like opposites attract. It really does play well together. But there is something different when you talk about work.
Yeah.
You're both understanding each other and you're not like just saying it just to be nice, right? Not, how was work? Now you can actually discuss the full work day versus how was work?
Yeah.
It was work. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you because you're not going to understand half of what I say. Like, it's work.
Right.
But no, that is awesome. And it does help out a lot because now you're not looking for something to talk about. Now you actually have something.
Right.
And I think that's a big, especially these days with everybody delving into social media and putting their whole lives on social media. That's a big reason a lot of relationships these days suffers because now they're finding these other people that they can connect with versus the person they're with.
Right.
And I think that's a huge issue. So to see that you two can, really come together, get into cybersecurity and IT and help each other out and grow from it, is absolutely amazing.
It is, and it was so fun. We got a new desk set up, and he let me set my own up, and I'm like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know what an RJ45 is. Yeah. I'm like, he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, it's the Ethernet cable, dude. Like, yes, I know what the RJ45 is.
Right. See, for me, growing up on computers, it was always funny because everything was color coded.
Yep.
So like when people would pay you and pay Geek Squad or tech support or whatever to come set up their computer, and literally all you were doing was plugging it in. And I'm like, certain shapes going certain places. So the circle goes in the circle, but on top of that, it's color coded. Like, unless you are colorblind and don't know your shapes, I really don't know how you can't do this. It used to blow my mind.
100% that's Jason. Doesn't know his shape and he's colorblind, so I'm surprised he knows how to color code his closet.
Actually, to be fair, I only started doing that within the past few months, because I got tired of looking for shirts, and so I was like, you know what, we're gonna put all my black shirts here, and then we're gonna go by shades, right? So we're gonna go down the line.
God, it's so annoying. So annoying.
I even got them sorted by these are polos.
Oh, good God.
These are whatever.
He does too. I'll put laundry away and I'll put jeans in the middle of the white shirts just to piss him off.
See all my pants are in drawers.
No,
so.
Thank you.
But it comes back to I used to not care, but I did. I got so tired of not being able to find things, and I was like, no, I gotta have. And now they're not always in the same order, right? I don't put my shirts. Oh, these are happy hour shirts, and these are this, or these are this. No. It's just colors. Whatever is on my sleeve is what color is there, and so that's how my stuff goes in now. Just because it makes my life a whole lot easier whenever I'm looking for clothes. I'm like, which shirt do I want to wear today? It's a Friday. I need one of my shirts, which means they're black because all of my shirts are black, so I know what I'm looking for.
Easy for me. Hoodie and leggings. There you go. That's my signature. I work from home. I don't got to impress anybody.
Look, there's half the time I wake up and I'm just like, let's see. I'm working from home. Do I have any meetings? I got to be on camera. No.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll wear whatever I feel like.
Yeah, you're only changing the top half. That was me today.
I think that's most people. There's a lot of people, I guarantee, working from home now, especially in our industry where we live off of t-shirts that will say the most random of things, that are like, let me keep a polo and a button down and a nice, jacket in the closet. That way, if they got to be on a meeting, they literally throw it on over whatever they're wearing. And then when the meeting's over, all right, it goes back off on the hanger and back in the closet.
Like those commercials you see on TV, the dude's sitting there in his boxers and he's got his button down on his webinar or his meeting or whatever he's on.
Look, don't get it twisted. I would jump on some meetings like that. If I was laying in bed doing something, I'd be like, hold on, let me get this shirt on real quick. All right,
let me just put that blurred background on.
Right.
In bed. I do it all the time.
But no, that's amazing, and I absolutely love it because it is so much of this is about, what really drives us and what drives people into cybersecurity, what drives people into IT. And you can look at it from a financial aspect. And for some people, that's great. But then I think when you do it from a financial aspect, you never truly develop those relationships within the industry because you're just about showing up, going home. Pay me and I'm out. Yeah. And now I've been into the industry for a while. So yeah, do I have my boundaries and limits? Yeah, I've spent years learning and growing and everything else. Now I'm building my network while I work, but after work, unless it's important,
yeah, and that's
unless we're gonna have a conversation over beer, don't talk to me.
That's me in my career. I mean, this is my second career change. Second in 4 years, and yeah. I was like Jason, a massage therapist for 20 years, and changed into insurance. I'm a work comp claims adjuster. It's just
Man, y'all
not
got it good though, man. Like now when someone's like, my back hurts, you're just like, baby, get on the table. I got you. I got you.
not anymore. Not anymore. No, I even let my licenses expire. So it's just I do friends now. That's about it.
I wish I knew a massage therapist. That'd be great. I'm like,
You don't live close to us, do you?
no, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're close. We're in Charlotte.
Yeah, but you're not gonna drive 8 hours up the freaking 8-10 hours up to Pittsburgh.
We would drive 8 hours to PA. Have a beard.
Okay, this is true. We went. Yep. All right, I'm game for that. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Misha does have a question for us. Do you find it challenging at all for you both to be learning in the same field, like with differing opinions and things like that?
No, because I'm just starting and I'm learning and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So being that I'm at that very beginning stage and he's already been in the industry for 4 years and now is going Azure and AI, no.
Yeah, I would think it would be, and I guess it depends on the person too, right? Because
Yeah.
you got to be able to take in other points of view, and this is something we find very difficult to do in our industry. For a lot of people, is take that criticism and that advice and really try to learn from it, as opposed to just being stubborn and hard headed.
Yeah.
I have
Well, he
noticed that
does
there are
therapy.
people that you will have that problem, but I think as a married couple and being together this long, it's a little bit easier for you two to kind of understand
Yeah.
what your different nuances are. But from a like industry standpoint, I see a lot of people way too hard headed to really even bend on any topic.
Yeah.
Like what they believe is what they believe, whether
Yeah.
it's IT and security related or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, he does piss me off. Like, he will irritate the shit out of me because I'll ask him something or I'll call him at work. I like to call him at work and ask him these things, or I'll put him on the squawk box on the watch because we can walkie-talkie. And that I like because he can't go off on a tangent. But when he's here and I'll ask him a question, and I've got Dion training on the tablet because that's why I was doing it through Udemy. And he was like, Dion said something, and I was like, well, that's not what Dion said. Are you going to argue with Dion? And he was like, well, that's what it is. And I said, okay, I'm going to hit play. That's not what Dion just said. That was correct. I believe him.
Oh, low blow. Low blow.
Like, he's been doing it longer, and he's teaching, so shut up.
No, but we all have those moments, right? Where it's like,
Mhm.
so it's a different opinion. Who am I going to listen to? And
Yeah.
like, I do, even to this day, me and my dad will have discussions about things because my dad's into GRC. And so me and him will talk about things. I'm like, Dad, but that makes no sense. So like, there are certain stances that like he and I, and I'm sure me and other people are just dead set on. And
Yeah.
like, there's no changing your mind.
For sure. Yeah.
But there are other times where you can come to a compromise or realize that the other person's right. And I think that's really what we need to get back to in this industry, especially when it comes to like AI and machine learning and just kind of all the different things we see, is that compromise. Like my son is legitimately writing a report on why AI isn't the end all be all, right? And like it needs more regulation and things like that.
Oh, it does.
And so like I was reading his paper trying to like help do some proofing and make it a little bit shorter because his teacher only wants it to be 4 pages and it's like 7. And so I was like, all right, as I'm reading this, I'm like, sad part is all of this could be prevented with humans.
And you know what? AIs aren't as smart as everyone thinks they are because I just used ChatGPT for a freaking continuing ed and that bitch got me a 44%. So now I actually have to do the CE because I'm like, they're worthless. What the hell did I use ChatGPT for?
It's
Meanwhile,
crazy.
My 15-year-old is in his room studying the CompTIA A+.
There you go. Hey, make it a family affair. Then you'll all just just start your own business. Screw working.
He wants to make money. He wants to make all this money. And I was like, okay, make the money, but make multiple streams of it and start now. Because if you want to have a 6-figure income, if you start now and have your full A+ and keep going, by the time you graduate high school, you're making 6 figures.
Well, it isn't just that either. It's, for me, and this is what I tell my son, and we got a few questions here that we're going to get into, but About that wallet is here, so he'll appreciate this because his podcast is all about money management and really kind of making ends meet. And I'm going to be on his show in April, which is going to be fantastic. Investing and things like that. So, like for me, my son, when he was littler, he's like, "Dad, I want to learn how to hack." Okay, started showing him coding. He was like, "I don't want to do this anymore." All right,
I want to.
I don't blame you. I don't like coding either. It just happens to be part of some parts of my job.
Mm-hmm.
So, the more he got into things, it was like, oh, I'm doing, graphic design, and then I want to do video editing, and I want to do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, look, that's great. I love it for you. Start your own YouTube channel. And he's like, what? I'm like, because now, while you're under my roof, and you're 15 years old, well, this was a few years ago, so he's like 13, whatever. I was like, you don't have to put your face out there, but you can literally do videos showing all this stuff, whether it's gaming or graphic design or video editing, anything you want to do, you can put it out there. And then you find your niche and kind of go from there. And he goes, but nobody's going to watch or nobody's going to do it. I'm like, who cares? Like, you're 13. Who cares?
They're going to watch. Believe me.
Start putting it out. And then you have other people like myself and people I know. Like, we can get the word out there.
Yeah.
But you start now. Then by the time you graduate high school, you've developed your experience with video editing because you're putting out content. You've done graphic design because maybe that's what your content's on. And then on top of that, if you want to be a gamer, you've learned all these games because you're creating videos for them. Yeah. I'm like, so there's multiple ways you can run with this.
Right.
Just by making YouTube videos.
Right.
And he was like, well, I'm like, dude, if you don't want to have to work for somebody else for the rest of your life, this is how you do it.
Yes.
I'm like, but if you want to be like me and everybody else and work for somebody that's going to tell you what to do for the rest of your life, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. Yeah, I'm just giving you a better way to live.
Yeah. I don't want to slave for the government anymore. I'm done. Yeah.
I like that. Multiple streams of income doesn't mean multiple jobs.
That's
so
right.
True.
That's right.
Whether it's investing, like if I could ever get my YouTube channel to have the amount of watch hours, then I'd have my YouTube channel, which I literally is an expense still at this point. But once things build and grow, a lot of things become evergreen income. And again, this is stuff me and About That Wall are going to talk about on this podcast. But when we're looking at IT and cybersecurity, you don't have to work for someone and be like, oh, I got to keep changing jobs or getting promoted. I don't want to get promoted. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z, but I have to if I want to make more money. Not necessarily. If you're doing this for the money, then start like putting things out that are going to make you money. Invest your money. Do YouTube shows, or content, right? Like put out technical videos, whatever the case may be. There's so many different ways that you can really have recurring income without working a ton. Like legitimately, I took my channel down. I have a bunch of evergreen content out there that people still watch for some reason, even though it's like years old. And then I have my show. Mm-hmm. I don't even, I literally get online once a week now.
And I think that's playing into my sense of urgency because I'm over here, I'm working 2 jobs. And I'm like, and Jason's got his job. And I am like, yes, I have my work-life income, but I'm fucking stressed.
Yeah.
So much. And I'm like, I'm still sleeping, but is it going to be nice in the end to have shit paid off? Yes. But I don't want to continue to do it. I want to be smarter and live easier and live happier and enjoy life.
Yep. And I hear that. And you can really get that from this career field if you make the right choices as you're coming up in it. Mm-hmm. Like understanding now that you're going to have yourself and Jason in the career field coming up in it, you're both going to, you start out what you start out, but you got 2 incomes.
Yeah.
So you can combine that. And then, I don't know, maybe you want to go and the highest you want to go is only going to make you $150 a year. Let's just say. But the highest Jason wants to go is going to make him $200 and some a year. Well, now you're happy doing what you're doing. And you're like, hey, 5 o'clock comes. I'm done. I'm out. See you later. Jason's like, all right, I got to work another hour, 2, 3 hours to get this done. Or maybe I got to work into the weekend. But guess what? You're making $300,000-$400,000 a year combined. You've got your work-life balance. Jason's doing what he wants to do, and he's still there for the family. Like, so now you're making it. I'm more like literally where I'm at. I love what I'm doing right now. There's other things I'd like to do in the future as well, but we're a single family income, like our single person income in this house. We've been making this shit work since I was in the Army. It's all about how you manage your time and money. And yes, for a long time, I took away my time from my kids and my wife. Those are the sacrifices I made. But you don't have to do that.
Mm-mm.
There are other ways to make things happen.
Right.
It was just the choices that we made. It made more
Right.
sense
Because
for
that's
my
what was.
wife to stay home
Yeah.
and watch the kids and be there for the kids, because daycare would have cost just as much as it would have been for her to work. So it made no sense for us to do that. And it didn't make sense for us to work off shift, because then when I'm getting home, she's going to work. And when she's getting home, I'm going to work. And then no one's really getting any time together. So the same things are happening. And so it just made more sense for us to do this way and then budget our money better.
Yeah.
Now, we were living paycheck to paycheck. And even at this point, even though we could kind of save a little bit of money, we're trying to get that paid off. So guess what? We're not necessarily paycheck to paycheck, but not close enough that I'm kind of like, we can't buy this right now. Like, we need to wait.
Well, Jason
Although my wife's better at that than I am.
Jason asked me just today in the car, he's like, where do you want to get? Like, what point do you want to get to in the career? And I said, I want to get to the point where I can drop $2,000 on my Louis Vuitton and not think twice about it and still be comfortable and know that I'm not hurting the family and doing it and not feel guilty because I'm actually, for once, doing something for myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I want to be. When I'm there, then I'm content.
And this is the other thing that we need to get, I want to get across to you and everybody who watches this show. I am a big proponent of grind culture. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. I am a big proponent of, if you want something in life, you grind and you go for it. But it does not mean that you don't have boundaries, that you take away all of your time from your wife and your kids and everything else and fun and play. No. It means you set aside time each and every day for things that are in your career, for things that make you happy, for things that will help you grow, all these different things. But you set that time aside. If you were going to sit here and grind and be like, I can't be with the kids because of this, I can't be with my spouse because of this, I can't do this because of this, and your excuses just keep coming up, guess what? You're going to raise your kids to be the exact same way, to have no time for their families and put everything into work. I saw what I was doing to my kids years ago, and I've made that change. But I knew the type of person I was raising them to be, and I was like, I want them to be hard workers, but I don't want their whole life to be work.
There's other ways to get there.
And you can make good money by working hard, but having boundaries.
Yeah.
You can run your own business. Now, for the first year, 2 years, 3 years, sure, you're going to be spending 18, 19 hours a day, getting your own business up and running, making it, successful, this, that, the other. So you do that before you have a family, because then you're not taking away from your family.
Exactly.
And I think too many times, if you're single income, or even if you're dual income, you're not realizing the sacrifices you have to make to get to where you want to be. So when it finally happens and you have to make those sacrifices, what happens to the family? What happens to what your kids think of you, or what you think of your kids, or how you're treating your spouse, or whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
Because they weren't raised on those sacrifices, and you're doing it so late that now you're not you. You're doing.
And Jason's learning that now too, because being home for dinner has always been super important to me, because we never had dinner together as a family. It was the little McDonald's TV trays, go in your room and eat. Here's your dinner, go in your room and eat. And we ate in front of the TV. We never ate as a family around the table together. So being home for dinner every single night is important. I don't want to eat at 7 o'clock at night. I don't want to eat at 8 o'clock at night. Right now, we're at that period where I'm home. Obviously, I work from home, but Jason doesn't get home till 7 o'clock because he works till 6.
Yeah.
Kids have already eaten by then. They're 15. They're like, we're done. We're hungry. We're eating.
Dude, your kids are probably like my kids. They come home from school and they grab food.
Oh, God.
And then they're like, hey, Mom, when's dinner?
Yes.
And it's like, you just ate.
You just ate.
Like half a pizza and you're asking for dinner.
And you can wait.
Did you not eat lunch? Like, what's
going
on?
Did I not pack you that lunch? I know what was in it. Yeah. Like, I know that you had enough to sustain you. You came home and parked out on that half-ish sleeve of cookies, and you're still hungry. It's in your head, homie. No. My daughter's not that way, but my son for sure is.
Oh, I got 5 boys. They're like, literally, they eat me out of house and home. When people talk about like being broke, I'm like, go ahead, have 5 kids. And I'm not talking my kids are overweight. All my kids look like they're either on point or underweight. And
Yeah.
I'm like, they eat everything all day, every day. I can't keep food in my house.
Yeah.
My freaking grocery bill at this point is up to like $600 almost every other week. So like, I can't win.
Yeah, I get it. 100%. I get it for sure.
They're like, hey, you got to pay your student loans. I'm like, cool. How much? They're like $700 some a month. I'm like,
You're like, that's groceries for a week. No problem.
I'm like, you're funny.
This week.
Let me pay off some other bills first, then I'll get to you. I'll wait till you call me and yell. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Anytime.
Like, I've budgeted my money for the cars I have, the credit cards I have. I had like 3 years where I didn't have to worry about those. Sorry, you're not in the budget anymore. I don't know what to tell you.
Sucks to suck.
But nah, it is. It's crazy, especially because I got my oldest now. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to go to the military or I'm going to go to college or I'm going to start a business. I'm like, yo, figure it out so I know where my money's going. Like,
my 15-year-old thinks he has it all figured out.
No, mine knows he doesn't, because every time I ask him, his mind changes. Every time. And so, like, it's getting crazy. So we do have 2 more questions here. The first one about that wallet, and we kind of addressed this. I think it was before he jumped in. But what was your aha moment in learning a new skill?
I was laying in bed watching your YouTube video. It was after the fact Friday night, and I was watching the YouTube video. Jason was asleep, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, Sarah, you're so fucking stupid. What are you doing? Why are you slaving away in a career, feeling unappreciated and feeling like you don't matter, questioning your worth and expressing to your boss, I'm questioning my worth at this point. I don't know why I'm here in this career. I don't feel this is right for me anymore. And then Jason was working from home the following day. And I stood behind him and I watched what he was doing. And I'm just watching the screen go. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I was like, so what does that do? How do you turn that off? And he's like, well, it's command line. And I'm like, just do it. And so he does it. And I was like, okay. So you're just telling it what to do and you're turning it off and on. He's like, yeah, you know, those big switches in the data center. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm turning it off and on. And I was like, well, that's super cool. So I think for me, that was that, okay, all right, I'm taking what Derek is saying and I'm taking what Jason's doing and I'm going to merge the 2 together. And I started researching, and this was like a year and a half ago. And I started researching Oracle. And I was like, all right, IT is using Oracle at work. What is it? What is it all about? And then I had a Netflix video on, and it was Cybercrimes, one of my favorite movies. And I was like, I want to be her. That's what I want to do. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I had a phone call come in, and it was a really terrible claimant. My narcissistic boss at the time was on my ass, being super narcissistic and mean. And I was like, I'm done.
I'm out.
I'm out. I know my worth. I'm out. So I finally got that shove. Probably, the shove started at that point, but I think it finally hit me in January.
So I want to say 2 things. One, it means a lot that my show has had that effect on you. For anybody who knows me, they know I do this for all of you. Again, the show's an expense, so it costs me money to do this. So I appreciate that a lot. The fact that I can have that effect and have that influence in a positive way means a lot to me, and it means that I'm doing the right thing. So I appreciate you for that.
Of course.
The second thing is, finding and knowing your worth is something that we don't understand a lot of in this industry.
Yeah.
Because people go into this thinking, oh, I know my worth. I'm worth $150,000 a year. No, you as a person may be worth $150,000 a year. And actually, as a person, you're probably worth $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, whatever. People are inherently or generally good. But knowledge-wise, it's knowing your worth and knowing, you know what? This industry isn't treating me right. My boss isn't treating me right. I know my worth. I'm going to go find a better career. I'm gonna go find a better job. I'm gonna go find somewhere else to work. And I think too much we want to change the culture or change people of where we work versus just saying, you know what, I'm better than this. I'm better than them,
And
and I'm
I
out.
think that's where I am because I haven't found my home yet. You
Yeah,
know, so many times I've interviewed and interviewed and interviewed, and they're like, "Well, what are you looking for? That place to call home." Well, have you found it yet? No, I'm interviewing with you, and I have no idea what your company has to offer me yet.
yeah.
And even then, 6 months, a year in, are you at home? Do you know? I don't think you do at that juncture yet. Maybe some do.
And I think it's harder because in this industry, because again, money plays a factor.
It does.
We are we there's no such thing as a pension anymore, right?
No.
So there's 401ks which roll over to the next company. There's, Roth IRAs and all this other stuff, right? But a company is not going to pay you when you retire in 30 years or 40 years or 20 years, whatever the case may be. Company care less. I hope you have savings in a retirement because you're out, homie. So when people expect us to stay with an organization for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, I'm sorry, you're asking a lot, and you better be increasing my salary more than just 3 to 5% every year. Like,
what are you
it better be
offering?
going up 10 to 15 grand. I better be getting bonuses. Like, you better be making it worth my while
and they
to
don't
continue to be here. Because if you're not, then what is your reasoning for me to be here? What, you're going to give me an award? I'm like, oh yeah, you're the greatest. No. What's that do for me?
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to pay my electric bill when it goes up $100 next month. It's not going to pay my groceries when my kids are all in their teens and now all of a sudden my grocery bill is $800 every other week. Like, no. So I think companies really need to realize if we're not doing pensions anymore, you need to get beyond and to say it's a cost of living raise, because that's what it used to be, right? If you looked at the military, things like that, it was like, oh, it's a cost of living increase.
Right.
Cool. Inflation was 9% this year, right? And you gave me a 5% increase, which means you didn't even cover me for the cost of goods that went up.
Because
I'm still losing money.
Yeah, my taxes are going to eat that. I'm breaking even anyway.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, you cannot expect company loyalty or to feel at home in a company if that company, after a year and a half, isn't saying, you know what, you're worth an extra 10 to 15 grand a year. Like, you better be giving me that huge jump or I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit there and wait around for a maybe or a possibly, or you need to get promoted to get that. No. What's your pay band on this job as a junior or as a mid-level? 20 grand. Cool. You brought me in at the bottom. I want at least 10 grand after a year. After a year, I want to be at that mid-level of this pay band. After another year, I've been doing my job. You say I'm one of the best. Cool. Take me to the top of that pay band.
Show me that you feel that way. Don't just give me all these wonderful compliments and tell me, oh, you're so great, you're my hero, you're this, you're that. Show me that.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I took a significant pay cut to be here, to be the greatest for you, to be your hero. Show me that you appreciate me.
And that's one of the biggest things, right? When people talk about entry level, they talk about junior, whether it's IT or cybersecurity. And I think they are different. I don't think entry level cybersecurity is entry level IT. I think they're two completely different things.
Yeah.
They require different levels of experience and knowledge. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry.
10 years now, right? In any industry is entry level.
Right. I mean, if you look at most job descriptions. But I just think I don't think there's a way to really come in entry level in cybersecurity without either a certification or doing lab work or doing something on your own to prove that you have the foundational knowledge. Yeah. Whereas in IT, you can usually get a help desk for some Joe Blow or whatever. Just like, hey, come work with us as a junior, and we're going to take you for like $10 an hour. Like, you don't want to work it, but like for some people, like, I need to get my foot in the door somewhere. Cool. I'll go work my way up. And you're usually moving pretty quick. But in cybersecurity, on the low end, you're making 65, 70K a year, I think, as a junior, which means I hope you have some foundational knowledge. Like, that is not minimum wage. That is not low end of like the median income of people, that is still a decent salary
Yeah.
for an entry level position.
Yeah.
So I think people need to understand this difference. And when you come in, and I made this mistake getting out the Army, I was like, I can't work for less than 120 grand a year. Oh, did I say that on numerous occasions? My first job paid me $65,000 a year. And that was with a ton of certifications.
I came into the industry that I'm in now well under entry level pay. Like I came in a year and a half ago, 45,000. I'll say it. I'm now at 70. I took a $10,000 pay cut from the previous company, so I was at 80.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, nope. I want to go back up. Like what I'm doing is the same. I know that there's people in my same position making more, and it's just like, no, I know what I want now, and again, it's just that intense sense of urgency to get there. And I've got a time limit for myself too. I know when I want to break into IT, when I want my first job by, when I want my first entry-level cybersecurity job by, when I want each certification. I've got a time limit on it.
See, and I love that. And it's one of the best things is like if you have this, it's one thing to say I want. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, I got these New Year's resolutions. And I don't know if you saw, like I did my other podcast for just shy of a year. And that was one of the things I talked about it. You could literally sit there all day and be like, oh yeah, I got these New Year's resolutions. If you're waiting to the new year to start something, then you're never going to do it. It's not a goal. It's not a plan. It's literally, oh yeah, after the new year, I'm going to start going to the gym and I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. The hell you are. You're going to go for like a day or two. You're going to get pissed off and never go back.
That's
At
right.
most, you'll go for a month. And the bottom 5% will actually complete that resolution.
Mm-hmm.
A goal is written down. A goal is planned out. A goal is scheduled. You know what your deadlines are, what your drop dead dates are. And and you have it in your mind, I am going to do this. This is going to happen by this date. And when you do that, your mindset shifts. Because now it's not, well, I'm going to try. It's not, well, I might fail or I can't or anything like that, or I can. No. It's I'm going. This is going to happen by this date.
It is. And Jason's been giving me all these motivational videos on YouTube from David Goggins, from our favorite, the Mamba. So just keeps telling me when I want to quit, he's like, babe, Mamba mentality. There is no, if you don't have haters, you're not doing your job.
Like, I've said that. I take that from Cat Williams too. I stole that shit from Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Because he even said, he goes, we all need haters. And if you ain't got no one to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
That's right.
That's if you're not pissing someone off in your life, you are not living right. And I say that because you know you are improving. You know you are doing better. You know you are making big things happen when the haters come out the woodwork and get jealous. Because it's that point in time that you've done better than them or doing more than them and are showing them no matter who you are, what you look like, or what you do, you can make it. But if they're not hating on you, then you haven't hit that level yet.
That's right. So level up.
Hey, that's all you can do. And that's how we have to like look at this. So I got another, I think 1, 2 now. All right, we're back to Misha and Jack. But before I hit Misha's question, I want to touch on something about that. Well, it said some people just like to stay working and not move up the ladder.
It pisses me off so much.
But he's not wrong in that because
why?
Some people like to be. Let's think about it this way, right? My dad, I went to my dad years ago when I was getting out of the Army, and I said, Dad, let's start a business together. Let's go in and da. He's like, dude, I've run a business. I've done things like that. I don't want to do it no more. I want to work for somebody because I don't want to have to worry about the bills and the taxes and da. Like it just wasn't in him. So I can understand why you don't want to worry about managing people. You don't want to worry about X, Y, and Z. I want to do my job. I like what I do. And then I want to go home. I don't want to have to worry about any other nonsense. Like I can understand that mindset because you get to a point where it's like, all right, I really love what I do. Take someone that does pen testing and they're very good at it. And all they ever want to do is like web app pen testing. All they ever want to research is web app pen testing. Da 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 da. Great. They're going to be your specialists, but don't ask them to take management. Don't ask them to lead. Don't ask them to do anything like that. They are your technical specialist in this area. The flip side to that is you can only go up so high.
Yeah. Well, and are you happy being stagnant? I guess my
Some
brain
people are.
That with stagnation. And are you okay being stagnant in your position?
You could be stagnant in your position, but not in your career. And by that, what I mean is you're constantly learning and growing. But why should I have to worry about moving up where that next tier means I've got to run a team when I don't want to run a team? I want to literally do the job. Tell me what to do, what client I'm going after.
Position. I'm okay stagnant in the position, but not in the career.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things. So I can understand that mindset. Let's see. So let's go to these. Misha, do you find that your skills from previous careers are helping you in your learning so that you weren't afraid to make the change again? Because now we're talking about two different careers now. Me and Jason did talking about going from a massage therapist to IT and cyber. Mm-hmm. You've gone from a massage therapist to your current career to now this. Yeah. So do you feel these career changes helped your learning path at all?
So I feel like it did with going from massage to claims adjusting, because you're still dealing with people. You're still, in that customer service industry anyway. I don't know yet with IT. I'm not there, but I have kind of branched in a little bit. Like back in 2015, I was tier 3 tech support at T-Mobile, and did that for a while. Mm-hmm. So, I kind of know the help desk thing. Yeah, I would say yes, because no matter what, there's customer service in it. And that was a big part of my previous career, was customer service. And kindness is free. So if I'm going to have that kindness and that customer service, why wouldn't I just put it through in my everyday life and move it on to the next career?
Yeah. And even where I'm at, working for an MSSP, we deal a lot with clients. So same concept. You're always dealing with people, and you're always dealing with different people. And one of the big things is sometimes you screw up, and you got to be able to appease the client. And there's a give and take relationship here. Yes, there's a scope of work. Yes, there's things that you can't do outside of that scope. It's given. But you have to be able to articulate your thoughts and be charismatic enough to have these conversations and be pleasant and be like, look, hey, when it's our fault, we'll take ownership. Just like, if there's something I need you to do, I'm going to put the onus back on you. But we'll work together in that, and we'll make sure things happen and we can accomplish things in a timely manner. And so I think customer service comes a lot down to that. And me, I grew up kind of in sales. Like I worked at Best Buy for years in Circuit City and all this other stuff. Wasn't paid commission, but people loved me and thought that I had gone to school for computers. And I'm like, homie, I'm 16 years old. I'm still in high school. So like, I don't know what you want from me. But like, it's one of those things that I've just always had that personality type to be able to talk to clients and talk to people and relate with them and understand where they're coming from. And I think that there are people that can't do that. They don't have the ability to take ownership. They don't have the ability to really interact with others. Those are my techies. Those are the ones that I want to put behind a keyboard, and they're damn good at what they do, but I will never put them client facing.
Yeah.
Because the social anxiety would destroy them. Not that I don't trust them, not that they can't do it, just that their anxiety would make their lives and my life way too difficult. When they're good at what they do, I'll have someone else report on what's going on. I don't need them client facing. Right. And so I think that's the other part of what we do, right? When you're looking at cybersecurity, you have your tech heads, right? You have your techies, the ones that are fantastic behind a keyboard. Don't ever put them in front of somebody. Don't put them in front of the board. Don't put them in front of your director. Don't put them in front of leadership. They can't bring their way of thinking, can't bring stuff down to that level. But you take that person that knows the technical jargon and knows the business jargon, and this is where your managers, your leaders, your CISSPs, your CISOs and things like that. This is where they should come into play. I can take what he or she said and now take it to who needs to hear it at the level they'll understand it.
So where do you put the people that fall in the middle?
Those are your senior leaders within the technical field, right? So those are the people that really should level up. You become your trainers, your mentors, your leaders. So if you're going to be let's say you're going to be a pen tester, you become the senior pen tester eventually. Then you start running a team. Then you move up and you just keep moving up because now you've been in so long, maybe you don't want to do the technical side anymore, but you still understand everything being said. So now I'm going to take what they said, put it in, make sure their documentation and the reports are right. And now I'm going to reiterate that to the client. Now I'm going to take that information to the board. I'm going to take that to whatever, because now I can articulate what they said that was way too technical and way too high up, break it down to a level that other people are going to understand. And now they get it. But you have to have those people that understand both the technical and the business and the executive side of things. They exist.
Yeah.
One of them.
I think that's going to be me.
I understand both sides. I can talk both sides. But there are still some things within the IT world and the cybersecurity world that I look at. I'm like, homie, you break it down like Marine style for me, please. I need it written in crayons because I'm lost. You done talked over my head. You may have thought you were breaking it down Barney style, but you weren't. No, we need to break the Crayola out for this one.
Fat markers.
Right.
Sidewalk.
Right? I've been in it so long that like there's things that I just don't understand anymore. Like I haven't done the research. I haven't read the papers. Like at this point in time in my career, I do what research I can, but I don't know everything. It's impossible to know everything. I let the smart people do those jobs. And when you need to talk to me,
one that's good behind the keyboard, because like I get it all the time from my boss now. You're quiet in the chat. You're quiet today. I don't like people enough to talk to you every single day. I don't want to talk. Like I'm not going to sit up here in this chat and be like, "Hi, how are you? Here's my life story." Some days that's cool, but most days I'm like, I want to come in. I want to be left the hell alone. I want to do my damn job because I'm good at what I'm doing. Get that shit done and go home. And well, I am home, but log off and go about my damn day. I don't want to spend all day like I'll talk to my claimants, I'll talk to my clients, but I don't want to spend all day talking to everybody else. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, and that's
America seeing this. I'm sorry.
Well, the sad part is what I tell people. So it's funny. Like as I've gotten older, I don't want to go out to bars.
Right.
Like if I'm going to interact with people, it's either going to be at my kids' sports games. Like if I'm going to a football game and I'm going to be a coach this year. Which, by the way, if you want to donate to Greater Latrobe Youth Football, I am taking donations. They are a 501c3. Let me know. I'll get you the address. You can mail a check or do Cash App, Venmo, that type of nonsense.
Awesome.
We'll figure it out.
Please do.
But anyways, so like I'll go do that. I'll do this show. And honestly, if I could afford a studio and have people come in person, it's my preferred way of doing it. But I can't just go out and talk to strangers, right? Like I can't go to a bar and sit there and like interact with people on a regular basis. I have my limits. But you take me to an office where I have to interact with these people daily, I get less work done in an office than I do at home. Because in an office, my ass is going to get up and go talk to people. Like, they'll be like, hey, we need this done. I'm going to go talk to him about what needs to be done or her. It'll take me about 10 to 15 minutes to get my answer. Then we're going to spend the next hour and a half just bullshitting about what's going on this weekend, our favorite sports teams, whatever the heck's going on. Like, so I am very bad in an office, and I know this, which is why I love working from home. Because then the only interaction I need to have with other people is mandatory interaction. Like, I need an answer to this. Give me an answer. Yeah. That's it.
My current job brought me into the office for 3 days, and I was like, my life. Like, when can I go home?
Yeah.
I was miserable. I was like, there's too many people in here. I'm losing my mind. Like, I'm quiet. I have headphones on. I'm like, please just stop talking to me. Please just stop talking to me.
Oh, man. Yeah, it is one of those things. Like, sometimes you just have to, you hit those limits.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't. And that's the crazy part is, again, I consider myself, I don't know what it would be considered, but either an extroverted introvert or an
You're an
introverted
ambivert.
extrovert, one
You're
of
an
the two.
ambivert.
Yeah. Basically, I could fall in both realms, but I still have my limits.
Yeah,
I
they're
have my limits of what I can deal with.
introverted extroverts.
Yeah, like I can't deal with stupidity. So that, again, this is why I don't go to bars no more.
Yeah.
Because when I drink, and I know this, my whole family knows this. When I drink, I talk a hell of a lot more, and I just want to have fun. Like I literally want to play drinking games and just bullshit. Like that's it.
Yeah.
But when you go to a bar and you have to deal with other people that like to get angry for no reason because they can't handle their alcohol, that's when I'm like, dude, we either need to leave or I'm going to get in a fight that I don't need to be in, because I don't like when people get mouthy, and I don't like bullies, and I'm going to knock someone's teeth down their throat. And it's like, so we got to leave. Like, I don't want to put myself, my kids, my wife, anybody in that position. We out. So, like, I think for me, drinking at home, it means, A, I can take people's keys and make sure they don't get DUIs. That's number one. Number two is I can go to my bed. Like, when I'm done for the night, I'm done for the night. I'm going to my bed, and I'm racking out.
Yeah.
Y'all want to stay up and drink? Have fun. You ain't leaving.
You
but
know
I'm
your way out.
passing out.
Everyone give me your keys before I go to bed, because I'm going to hide them, and you're not going to know where they are. So the couch is there. There's air beds. Good night.
Yeah. So, like, for me, it's easier that way. But I can't be out, and, like, when I hit that limit, I can't just be sitting there waiting for somebody else to want to leave. I'm like, no, I got to go.
Yeah. That was me, and my best friend came out from Colorado a couple weeks ago, and her and me and my daughter, we went to play karaoke, or sing karaoke. And there was an older man, probably Jason's age, that tried to grab my 15-year-old daughter's rear end. And I was like, I'm either going to get into a fight or go to jail tonight. Jason was ready.
Oh, I'd have already been going. I'd already be in jail. I'm just going to say, had I seen it, there was no I might. I see that I'm in jail.
He got elbowed in the sternum, and he got a mouthful from me. But I was also on the phone to Jason. I was like, how many beers have you had? Because I might need you to get on the bike and come down here and make a scene. And if you've had too many to drink, I'll just handle business. It's fine.
Yeah, so you mess with my kids, nah, it's over. Like, don't do that in front of me. And don't let me find out.
Yeah.
Because if I find out,
homie.
Like, I have no problem. Like, they got to find your body to prove I did anything.
Amen.
Don't mess with my kids.
That's right.
They got to find the body.
That's right.
I'd have been to jail before he blinked again. Misha, yes.
Dude, it was bad. She was like, Mom, this guy just grazed my butt. Can we switch spots? And I was like, fuck yeah, we can. Let's switch. I was like, I wish a mofo would today.
Right?
And he's sitting here swinging his hand, doing this, and it's grazing my butt. And I'm like, whack, right in the sternum.
News next day, local man goes missing after a night out. Damn straight, he missing. No one know he dead.
No. And his wife or whatever woman he was with was hammered, was like, hi, yeah, what song are you singing? Yep. Okay. You go sing that song. Go sing that karaoke.
Look, I put down my fair share of alcohol. Everybody knows this. They've seen me on this show. Never. Like, I've been stumbling drunk. I've been throw up drunk. I've never blacked out. And I always know what's going on around me. Now, my reactions may be delayed, which is why I don't drink and drive. But I know what's going on around me.
Right.
So no, there is no, oh, yeah, I'm going to be, dude. No. You do something stupid, I'm knocking you out. I might miss the first 2 times, but that third time's going to hit.
Just hit the one in the middle. It's fine.
Exactly. I've played that game. I was trying to find the handle when I was younger. It took me a little while, but I found it. But yeah, it's going to happen. I don't care if we got to do, drunken boxing, like the Jackie Chan movie. Like, it'll happen.
Yeah.
You don't care. You don't mess with my kids. No. Especially the women in my life. I find out you're messing with the women in my life. No.
Them is fighting
bad
words.
news for everybody involved.
Yeah,
But-
Jason was like, you just tell me. He's like, I'm on my way. He was like ready to rock and roll. And I was like, no, you've had too many to drink. And the guy went away. So we're good.
Yep. So all right, here's the last two things we need from you because we are at the top of the hour. And I
Okay.
did unstart their question, so I don't care. Sorry, Jack. I love you. But we're not going to put the question up. I am simply going to ask the question. What is your why? Ha. Ha, ha.
Yeah. I want more. I have a need for more. I can't explain it. I wish I could. It's just like with the sense of urgency. I have a need for more. And it's a stimulation thing, and I want it. And I know what comes with getting that more is financial stability, being able to provide for my kids what they want. And God forbid something ever happened to Jason, I am able to take care of myself and my kids. And I'm not dependent on 2, 3, 4 jobs. I mean, the man rides a motorcycle 8 months out of the year. So God forbid something happens to him, I'm able to provide. So that is my why.
Oh, I love the way you think. Because I feel our why needs to not be about money. It needs to be about those we support, those we love and care about. And that is what drives us to do more and more and more and better ourselves as human beings. When it's about money, you're never going to be better yourself. You're going to chase dollars. You're never going to be happy where you're at because you're always going to have to find more. And so you will never find that sense of peace and happiness about who you are and what you're bringing to the table. So that why, when it's driven by support, by family, by your kids, by your spouse, and just by fulfillment, hence finding my fulfillment.
I'm finding it. I really am.
When your why is driven by that, it is a lot easier to have a better mental attitude towards things. Your mindset becomes more clear, and you realize that you are doing this for a sense of self, a sense of purpose, and your purpose goes beyond money. If we were all driven by money, we would be the greediest idiots in the world, and you might as well go into politics because those are the morons that literally do everything for money. And I can get into a whole conversation about that, but it's all the politicians.
Yeah.
So don't come at me one side or the other. Literally, they're all greedy bastards and
Yeah.
all need to burn in the pits of whatever they believe in. I really don't care.
Amen. Yeah.
But all of government, yeah,
Yeah,
talking
for
about
sure. Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
So I do. I love that your why and your purpose is just sense of like security of self. Now, that's one. Last question, final question at 8:03 p.m. Eastern time by my count. What advice would you give people that are trying to do the exact same thing you're doing and break into IT and cybersecurity?
Don't be afraid to take a chance. If you're interested and you have that feeling and you have that interest, do it. Because you know what? You're not getting any younger. Your tomorrow isn't promised. So live today for what you want and just go for it. Because what's going to happen? You could possibly find something that you absolutely fucking love. And you could find home. And you could find your fulfillment. So go for it.
I love that. And that
I brought tears to my eyes.
Sarah, I love you. And that is something that I think you need to take into any career field. You got to be able to go in there and find your fulfillment. Don't be afraid. We let fear control us way too often. Fear drives your life. Stop letting it.
Yes.
I want everybody out there, hands down, right now, that is afraid of anything. If you want to understand fear, if you want to understand what it's doing, look up NF Mansion. The song is called Mansion. And his explanation of fear moving in and basically running his life, like setting up its own room and everything, fantastic. Please listen to it. It will give you an understanding of how you're letting fear run your life. And you can't let it.
No.
You need to control your fear. Don't let it control you.
That's
You want
right.
to make something of your life, go out there and do it. Sarah, thank you for being
Thank you
on.
for
Thank
having
you for
me.
giving that advice. And thank you and Jason for just being amazing people. And hands down, I love having you. One of these days, we'll have to have you both on together, as Misha states in the chat.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I love you all. Take
We love
care.
you.
Have a great weekend. And I'll see you
Thanks.
next week for another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour.